Hey fellas, welcome to the back to the channel. We're gonna go for a ride today and go check out some AMC things. So come on along, come for a ride. Got you inside of my 1982 AMC Eagle SX4. Talk a little bit about it. Talk a little bit about the AMC Landmarks. You can call them a landmark, such as an original American Motors dealership sign that I have actually purchased, and I'm going to get taken down, and eventually my plan is to restore it. So at the moment it's still standing. Take a drive by that, and then I also want to take a ride out where there's some old AMC trailers, semi-trailers. So with that said, let's begin. Alrighty, I'll talk a little bit about the car you're riding in here. You're riding in a 1982 AMC Eagle SX4. Again, as I said before, she's powered by a 151 cubic inch inline 4-cylinder, better known as the GM Iron Duke. Not the 150 cubic inch, that would have been the American Motors 4-cylinder, and that didn't come out until halfway through the 1983 model year. She's backed by an automatic transmission, Torque Flight 904, 4-wheel drive, 0 to 60 eventually. Alright, we're at 45. That was flooring it. As far as show and go, we've got the show, but I mean, we got the go, but depends on what your perception of go is. But you know, I bought this car from the original owner, and he had actually purchased it for his wife, and she was going to learn how to drive, is what he said. So he bought her a car, brand new. This one here, brand new AMC Eagle. I think the thought of it was compact, 4-cylinder, automatic. You know, you think it would be pretty easy to learn how to drive it. So, I mean, this is pretty much as bare bones as you can get. The only options that I can see it has would be an AM/FM radio and an automatic transmission. I mean, I believe all Eagles came with power steering, so I think that was standard. I don't know that for sure. As far as that goes, I don't see any options. It doesn't even have a passenger side mirror. It's about as basic as you can get. Very basic. So yeah, she was going to learn how to drive, and apparently she never did. So what he described it to me is he then kept the car for himself. He went on fishing trips on the weekend, you know, went to church on Sunday. Didn't drive it a whole lot. The car actually only has 65,000 miles. As of right now, 65,247. And I know when I bought it, it was at 59,000 and some change. So I put about 6,000 miles on it in the 10 years that I've owned it. November 26, 2010 is when I purchased the car. And I actually drove it to high school. I drove right to high school. I was would have been my junior year. I drove it through the winter. So I bought it in November. I drove it through November, December, all those winter months. I 4-wheel drive worked great, got me through everything. And I think I drove it up until I purchased my blue Eagle wagon. Here's the neighbor. Anyway, I bought an Eagle wagon, and I started working on that. And then once that was up to snuff, I bought that in September of 20. Oh, what the heck? Actually, I bought this in 2009. Whoops! So I actually bought this in November of 2009. My bad. Because 2010 is when I had got my blue wagon, and I drove that one for my senior year, the winter. And I parked this one because this one, you know, as far as unmolested, untouched, just a all-around gorgeous, well-preserved car. And I, you know, even as a young high school kid, I did feel bad driving it in the winter. I mean, it's still all in one piece. I just feel like it would have been, you know, better if I didn't, you know, drive it through all that salt and all that so forth. I remember in the parking lot, some kid actually couldn't pull out of the stall right. As he was backing out, his front bumper clipped the back end cap of my bumper. And you know, you AMC Eagle guys will know how sacred those end caps are. And these ones were just pretty brittle, and it didn't stand a chance with that car. So, yeah, I mean, it suffered some casualties. People honking at me. No matter what, you're going to attract some tension in this thing. People always waving, honking. I think I know who that was. I'm not sure. But anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah. So as far as what I've done to it, I've mainly done detail work on it. You know, you can kind of see the dash bezel here. It's kind of got the silver paint. You know, I just did a lot of detailing. You know, as far as major, you know, repairs, I can't even think of anything. I mean, I think my dad bought me a carburetor. I bought a brand new carburetor from eBay. I think that's the only major repair I've ever done to it. I don't remember much at all. You know? So it's just been a great car. Of course, I've only put 6,000 miles on it. It just didn't need very much attention. It was a ready-to-go driving machine, and it still is. You know, I'd still like to get some things taken care of. I know it's got an exhaust leak on the header. That actually just started, just developed. So I don't know the exact location of where that's coming from, but it would be nice to get that fixed so it's not as loud. You know, the Iron Duke doesn't have a timing chain, it's all gears, so it's already got a lot of engine noise the way it is. It doesn't need to be any louder, especially 4-cylinder. Nobody wants to hear that. Oh yeah, that's right, another thing I did in high school, because I thought I wanted to be cool. I took off the muffler that was on it, and I put a glass back on it. And it still has its catalytic converter, but it didn't make it like hardly any difference. Now it just sounds it sounds bad. Someday, you know, I'll actually sit down with it. I'll put a nice regular muffler back on it. It would have been nice because it was probably the original muffler. And it's long gone. That's what happens, you know. You're a kid, you know. You want to be cool. You play with what you have. It's not until later where you can kind of learn from those mistakes, or you know what I mean. You look back at it and just think, I should have done that. One thing I can say is I still have the car. A lot of people say they sell their cars, and they always say, I wish I never would have done that. I wish I still had it. I know I don't have to say that, because here it is, I'm still driving it. You don't ever see me selling. I can't ever imagine selling this one. It means too much to me. I've got a lot of memories in it. A lot of good times. leave that at that. So anyway, as we are driving here, first stop, I'm going to show you that American Motors dealership sign. It's actually right in my hometown, Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. From what I understand, 1973 is when that sign was put up, and at the time it was called Blanchard's Auto Mart, and they sold brand new Jeeps. And I guess they kept the Jeep, the brand new Jeep. What do you call that? Brand new Jeep. You know, the ability to sell it in the town. It was so what's weird about it is the regular AMC garage. I didn't even know this until just now. The regular AMC garage is on the other side of town, so that's why I never thought twice about looking here. So the original AMC garage didn't have the Jeep name until basically 1988, which I'll get to that story. So like I said, this was called Blanchard's Auto Mart, and they sold Jeeps starting in 1973. And then they sold to Bogard and Carl was the name of the dealership, still selling brand new Jeeps. And then as soon as the Chrysler takeover and all that stuff happened, they didn't want to be a part of it no more, and they dropped the Jeep name. And then that's when the normal one around here, Johnson and Sons, they took over, which I didn't even know that. I thought Johnson's always had Jeep. So that's why I never thought twice about looking here, for an AMC sign. It just kind of dumbfounded me when I started driving through town a couple of weeks ago, and I started to kind of look, and I had to do a double take, and I'm like, is that an AMC logo? And long story short, it looks like they had painted over it with black paint, and now the black paint is chipping away, fading off, and it's starting to show through the original logo. So that is how I found the sign, and did a little research, all that, and so I found out they did sell Jeeps. And it's actually weird because there's actually a phone number on it. He's actually Mr. Bogard Carl. He's actually trying to sell the property, so he's got his phone number right on it. So I just called the phone number and asked if he'd be willing to sell the sign. He said absolutely, make me an offer. We agreed on a price, and well, the sign's mine. Next week I'm going to have a professional sign company come and take it down. They're starting to do all the looking into it and the preparation and whatever it's going to take to get it down safely. Kind of made out a little deal with them. There's some lights on the top. There's some lights that I don't need the lights. I don't want the lights. I just want the sign itself. So I'm going to give them the lights, kind of take some money off the bill. And I told them that, eventually I want to get the sign, restored. I'm going to have, panels made up and designs and all that good stuff. So I said, this is not going to be a one-stop shop. I'm going to come back for more business. So, try to give me a little deal, could you? and they agreed. So I agreed on a price that I'm content with, and I got myself a sign. It's going to come down professionally so it doesn't fall into this busy roadway that I'm driving on right now. Almost there. We're almost there. It's just right up here. One thing's for sure, you drive an old AMC in town, everybody looks at you. Get a lot of looks, a lot of thumbs up. It's always a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun. driveway. Alright, so what I'll do is I'm going to switch to my phone camera. Alright, here we are. This is the old Bogard and Carl dealership. You can kind of see there's the Bogard and Carl sign still standing. They stopped selling cars 2008, I believe. After they got rid of the Jeep name, selling brand new Jeeps in '88, they just then sold used cars, and then they also went to leasing cars. No more new stuff, selling new stuff. So there's the sign. That is an original American Motors sign, supposedly from 1973. And those are the lights that are on top, and I don't want any part of. So, if you can see, the sign's kind of in bad shape. This side has the American Automotive Leasing on it, as that was the name of their leasing company, I guess, from what I understand. It's not in the best shape. It's been here for 47 years. The original what would have said American Motors or Jeep must have got smashed or cracked, or they, whatever. They put particle board in here and painted it black. See, all the lights are still up in there. Not the light bulbs, but the sockets for them. Everything is still there. I looked at this thing, and the only piece I notice it's missing is this bar right here. That goes across. This is actually out a little bit. It's going to need a little work, but one thing I want to for sure keep, I want to keep that right there. I just want to take that black paint off, and I want that to be completely original. I don't care if it has a little bit of a watercolor in it or if it looks a little weird. That way I know it's original. No matter what I do to that, I want that logo to be original. Even if it's a little, miscolored, I want it to be 110% original. So yeah, this is a location of an old Jeep dealership, 1973 to 1988. Bogard and Carl, and this was the building where they were. There's their garage bays back there. Got some people that are gonna probably think I'm nuts. Right on a busy intersection, downtown Wisconsin Rapids. I got people looking at me weirdly because not many people are probably out. It's not California. People just don't go out videotaping anymore, at least around here. So yeah, there's the American Motors sign. Going to be coming down next week, and I am looking forward to it. Let's get back in the car and let's go show you those trailers I was talking about. Let's get back in here. Back in the wild machine. Yep, just like that, I ended the video, and over comes a guy wondering what I'm doing. Just had a probably 20-minute conversation about this area here. He actually knows the owner, and he used to own across the road. Across the road here, apparently was the old Chevy garage, and he had bought it after the Chevy garage owned it. And he ran his contracting business out of there. That's what he was talking about. And he said before the Chevy garage owned it, it was an Edsel dealership. So that's really neat. And I asked him, I said, hey, if you got any old pictures, I'd love to see pictures of your place, the Edsel place, anything you have. Even pictures, of the old Jeep dealership here. I'd love to get pictures so I can actually see what that sign said. And he said, well, I definitely have pictures. I'll have to go through them. I gave him my phone number and see what happens. Networking, and I'm not even trying. All you gotta do is drive around your old AMC. Track attention. Sometimes unwanted attention, sometimes good attention. You never know what you're going to get. Alright, we're going to keep going for our little ride here. Driving through town. The AMC trailers are probably about 10-15 miles from here, give or take. Let's go see what Smiley's up to, or if Smiley's home. Maybe if Smiley's home, we'll pick him up. Let's see if he's home. I don't think Smiley's home yet. We'll go knock on the door and see if he is not home or not. Alright, Smiley's not home. Oh well. Well, anyway, we'll go and see if we can find some old semi-trailers from American Motors. Not sure if you can see them, but there's kids to the right of me that are just eyeballing me like nuts. Kind of the slogan for the 1978 AMX was, if you don't want to be the center of attention, then drive something a little more tame. I guess that could work for this car too, even though it just necessarily isn't a big ball of fire. That's for sure. good spot to me. Turn that off. And switch to my phone camera. Alright, here we are. And here you go. Here's one of the trailers. American Motors Corporation. There's actually quite a few of them here. So there's one here. There's one here. Let's see. That is not one. That isn't one. That isn't one either. Oh, what the heck, huh? What? Only two? Alright, there's another one. It's over here. Right there is another one. And wait a minute, there is another one. I wouldn't leave you hanging. Over there, all by its lonesome. Original American Motors semi-trailers. Check that out. You know, as much as I would love to restore one of these or find an original Mack truck, you know, that would have pulled it with the AMC logo on it, these things are in pretty sorry shape. This one here might actually be in the best condition of all of them. I think this is the one. Nope, that one ain't as bad. This one's probably in, I think it's the one that's in the best condition. Otherwise, floors are rotted out. I mean, just you can kind of see it's just gonna basically pull itself apart if you try to actually pull these with a semi. They're very well used, very well abused. I guess I gotta duck under this. See inside here. They must have been hauling sawdust and other stuff like that. Floors are now plywood, and the plywood's all rippling up and turning to crap. I think one of these, the roof is actually collapsed. This one doesn't even have any doors. Or maybe it does. Okay, it does, but they're just not very good. See, that one's missing. I think this one's must be a homemade door on this side. Yeah, plywood. Yep. Ooh, look at that big old hornet's nest up there. Don't want to piss that off. Yikes. Anyway. So there they are. Must have been originally purchased from when American Motors had liquidation, possibly. And from what I understand, some company called Anderson used them, and it must have been hauling, like you see here, sawdust or something. Parts Division, American Motors Sales Corporation. I mean, they're cool. And they weren't that far away from my hometown, and I never knew they were here. Smiley actually found them. He was out cruising in his truck and drove by and like looked to his right, and he's like, "What the heck?" and slammed the brakes on, and it was like, holy crap. Let's see this one. I think this one's the coolest. You can kind of see the red, white, and blue still kind of. I think this one's probably the coolest because of that logo. That one over there has the same logo as well. But here's a frame tag, VIN. Oh, there's the year right there, 1974. Fruhauf, whatever that means. Don't know what that means. I'd like to. If anybody knows what that means, let me know. These are not AMC trailers. But this one over here is. This one's in really sorry shape. I don't know if they must needed ventilation because they cut holes in it all over the place. This one has its VIN tag as well. Fruhauf, 1974. So this is pretty much the prime of AMC. About that early 70s, late 60s. Everything was going pretty well for them. Right from the heyday, right here. It's probably why they're stamped 1974, because they had all kinds of money. Let's get new trailers. Let's make new trailers. Got all kinds of money, burning a hole in our pocket. This one's really, really beat up. You can tell at one time they must have, when they first got them, they must have like spray painted white. And the white spray paint is now gone. But the AMC lettering underneath. That's interesting, look at that. So it's still good there, the white that they sprayed over it. But on this panel, gone. That's really interesting. Wonder why that is. Very interesting. Parts division. Probably hold original, you know, maybe parts from the wherever they had them made. I don't know, maybe they hauled parts to the dealership. Miscellaneous items, supplies, goods, you know, of that nature. Who knows? That one I'm not gonna walk over to. I got shorts on. That's probably about 5 foot tall grass in some spots there, even larger in some spots. Plus this isn't even my property, but hoping they won't mind. Just be here for 5 minutes. Plus I got an AMC, right? It's usually a ticket for something. Usually means I'm friendly. I come in peace, doesn't it? At least I think it does. Well, there you have it. Got to take a ride in my 1982 Eagle SX4. Go see a dealership sign, original, from American Motors back in the day, Jeep. And you got to see some original semi-trailers, right from 1974. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching to the end. Have a great day. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.